Welcome to another banging episode of Africa Rising. Today, I want to take a look at black supremacy. Is there such a thing as black supremacy? Do you think black supremacy exists? Do you think it will be allowed to exist? A lot of people think so. A lot of people think black supremacy is a thing that can happen. They think it's a thing that can progress. They think it's something that can rival white supremacy. But I beg to differ. How can black people who've been denied their livelihood for years, for centuries, be allowed to supersede or surpass other races who've had power for years and centuries before them? It will never happen. You see, truth is, the black race has for the longest of times being oppressed, right? Oppressed, suppressed, and you cannot think of anything worse from a human perspective than a black person, because for centuries they've been demonized, they've been castrated, they've been cast away, they've been ostracized, they've been made, they've been painted black, they've been painted with the worst brushes that you could find on this planet. There's almost nothing good that is said about a black person. And that's just the way the books show it. Right? Now, look at it this way. If you really come to look at life from a different perspective, right? Think about the Black Panthers. Think about groups like NWA. Think of groups like Public Enemy. Think of groups like the Muslim Brotherhood. And then you think of the Nation of Islam. Okay? These groups could possibly have teachings and even little um, what word could we use? They could have little semblance of white supremacist groups, right? But only they're teaching black supremacy, all right? What you'd call empowerment, other groups would call that supremacy, right? But when the black people do it, they'd be seen as empowerment, black empowerment, right? Other groups would see that as a race trying to have supremacy teachings, you see? Almost like affirmative action. Affirmative action was introduced to try and empower black people, to put them onto a level playing field with other race groups. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work out that way. Affirmative action used to work, but now it doesn't. Okay? So, back to the subject at hand. So, black supremacy. Do you think it's a possible reality? No, I don't think so. But some people, they still do. And that's a far-fetched idea, to be honest. What does it take to be a supremacist group? One, it takes money. Two, it takes power. Three, it takes respect. Not earning it, but demanding it. And then four, it takes demolition. You have to totally demolish, obliterate the opposition for you to get your supremacist status. Do black people have that power? Do black people have that money? I don't think so. You see, Africa is a continent of black people. A continent, an entire continent. I'm talking about a billion black people on a continent. Over a billion blacks. And they are being ruled by a few minorities. So, if there cannot be black supremacy on the African continent, where blacks are the majority, how is it possible that there could be black supremacy in any other part of the world where blacks are the minority? Now, blacks in Africa look to blacks elsewhere, especially to the United States, as the leaders of the movement, as the leaders who show the way forward. The way black Americans move, Africans move. Black Americans are the thought leaders. They are the trailblazers. They are the think tanks. But when the think tanks and the thought leaders and the trailblazers themselves are so oppressed, are so demonized, and so obliterated that even they themselves don't even know in which direction to move, in which direction to go. How can we, as Africans on the continent, follow such a defeated people? Now, that's not to say that black Americans haven't tried. They've fought in the civil rights movements. They've done this. They've done a lot of things. They've fought for bills. They've done, we cannot discard the amount of energy and effort they put into the fight for equality. And still, they come out short-handed or short-changed. That's not to say they didn't put any effort into it. It's just that they don't have the muscle, they don't have the money, and they don't have the power, right? The few billionaire blacks there are in America know that if they want to continue their billion-dollar status, they've got to succumb to white supremacy, white commandments, just for them to enjoy that billionaire status that they have. If those billionaires and black millionaires are willing to lose their millionaire and billion-dollar status and fight for the black cause in all its entirety, as a unit, they'll definitely win the fight to become black supremacists. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You see, black people, we will always be divided. And the one thing that will always divide us is money. Another thing that will always divide us is power. Another thing that will always divide us is respect. And guess what? The funny thing about it is we all know about divide and conquer. Now, if we all know about divide and conquer, why do we allow it to continue in 2023? It's not like we just discovered it now. So why do we allow it to continue? I mean, you can get a foreigner who just steps in now, be it the Chinese. Let's just give an example of the Chinese, right? Because like Chinese are they're colonizing the world, right? Through economics, right? China can come now, and let's just say in the SADC region or ECOWAS region, whichever region, right, in Africa, China will come, and China will offer, let's just say, $1 trillion worth of trade and investment to South Africa. And then they will tell South Africa they need to change this policy and their policy against, let's just say, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Zambia. Now, $1 trillion in investment? All you got to do is alienate your neighbors? Is that an offer that we are willing to leave on the table? Is that an offer we are willing to walk away from? Is that an offer we are willing to take? Is that an offer we are willing to sacrifice our brothers and sisters for? See, simple. We don't think twice about sacrificing our brothers and sisters. We just think about the money. We just think about the power. We just think about the respect that those same brothers and sisters are going to look at us for. And that's what's killing us. Now, I may be using the $1 trillion as an extreme example, but it's the small things in life, really, that divide and conquer us. A simple thing, like a liquor store. They know if they want to conquer us, bring liquor stores into the communities, we get drunk, we start acting all crazy and all stupid and everything, and then that's how they divide and conquer us. They bring money into the thing, into the community, they bring drugs into the community. It's a divide and conquer thing. So if we know divide and conquer is the way they get us or get at us, why do we allow it to continue if we are in the pursuit of black supremacy? For black supremacy to work, we all need to move as one. We need to be a united front. Everybody got to see us as one. We cannot be fragmented. But unfortunately, the way things are, we will always value other things and other people's ideas and ideologies above our own. Our people, we will never see them as equals to us. We always want individual glory, individual fame, individual supremacy, but never a collective supremacy. And that needs to change. We need to move as a race. We do not need to move as individuals. Other race groups, they move as a race. And that's how they get to proceed and succeed and surpass us, if you know what I mean. So, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Holla!